Guitar Heroes, Eric Andreas, your Guitar Sage here, and today I'm going to talk to you about what I've learned from 30 years of playing guitar and how I believe it can help you. So I've been playing guitar now for actually almost 40 years. I've been teaching for 30 something of those years. So I've done a lot of playing, I've done a lot of teaching. And what I thought it would be great, I thought this was kind of almost interview style. If somebody said, what are the top three or four things that you could pass on to somebody regarding my 30 plus years of playing? And here they are in no particular order, and we'll drill down. I'll tell you about, kind of philosophies of all this, but I'll tell you right off the bat, here are the three, and then we'll drill down, okay? Number one is you can do anything that you want on the guitar, okay? Believe it or not, I'll tell you more about that in a minute. Hyper-focus, slow and steady practicing rules supreme. That's number two. And last is music is meant to be shared. And we'll drill down on each one of these, okay? So number one, you could do anything that you want on the guitar. Now that sounds really lofty, Eric. Sounds like you've been listening to a lot of Tony Robbins. And truth be told, I have been, but nonetheless, this is not motivation, friends. This is literally to understand one's true potential. It does a few things. Number one, it makes you in control of the ship that you steer when it comes to guitar. There's no more excuses anymore, and what you realize is that if you have the right resources, well, first, the right desire. If you don't have a desire to play guitar, you can have all the resources and practice in the world. You're not going to probably be that good because the burning desire is not there. But chances are you're not watching this video because you hate guitar. Chances are you're watching this video because you just think I'm just a really great looking guy, or you really probably want to play guitar, right? So really the burning desire is the most important thing. And then having resources is another part of this bit that you can do anything on the guitar. I got to have the resources. What does that mean, the resources? Obviously, you need to have some sort of guitar, and then you've got YouTube, you've got a plethora of places that you can learn guitar now for free that weren't around back in the day. Back in the day, you just had to learn, you had to listen and play, and it was just sheer desire and sheer just want that made people be desperate to learn and made them learn, okay? So we live in a different time now where so much information is available, and if you grew up during this time, you might find it hard that there's just a glut of information. So that's some of the issues that we have nowadays. But once you have those resources, so you have that desire, you got the resources, then you take those resources, you practice them, and you practice them with passion. And literally, the only thing that's stopping you from being the guitar player that you want to be, and that can be greater than the greats that have been already, or it can be campfire guitar guy. Doesn't matter. Whatever your goal is, you can be that. The only thing that's stopping you is you. Because, friends, you've got the internet. If you're watching this right now, you've got the internet, and that means you've got all the resources at your disposal, okay? I alone give free courses and have free books and everything else. And that's just one teacher. There's a million other teachers out there that do great things to help the world and play guitar too. So check that out. Check these folks out that want to help, okay? Number two, hyper-focus and slowing things down, rules supreme. So what do you mean by this, Eric? Well, you get good at whatever it is that you practice. And what I mean by this is I see people do this all the time where they're practicing things and they have the passion, but they're practicing things incorrectly. And what I mean by incorrectly is they're maybe not practicing the right technique, or maybe they're practicing a song with the incorrect melody or incorrect chord progression, incorrect strumming or something, and they're passionately doing it. Well, whatever you practice, you're going to get good at, including mistakes. Now, intensify it with passion, and you're fully ingraining mistakes into your playing if you're not playing the right thing. If you're not learning lessons from people who know what they're talking about, who've been down the road, who can teach you from experience, from teaching thousands of folks or writing books or whatever, okay? And so it's really, really important to understand that this hyper-focus and this slowing things down is truly going to get you where you want to go. So let me describe to you exactly what I mean by that. Hyper-focus is more than focus, it's hyper. It's when you're truly like a laser beam focusing in on a particular something, okay? And slowing things down. So why is this helpful? I want you to think about a juggler for a moment. Let's see you're trying to juggle. Whenever I use an analogy like this, people get that, and then they're able to relate it to what I'm talking about on guitar. But if you just say, here's the guitar thing, most people don't get it that way because they're able to relate to these other things. So think about this for a moment. You're a juggler, or you want to be a juggler because it's what you want to do in life, is you want to juggle. And you're trying to juggle 3 balls. And you're so frustrated because you're watching this guy on YouTube and he's juggling 5 balls. And you're like, I don't understand. I've got hands, I've got a head, I've got these bowling pins or balls or whatever to juggle with. Why can't I do the same thing? And you're watching him and you're doing the same thing and you're messing up. And you're like, well, let me see, 3 is not enough. Let me try 4. This guy's doing it with 5. Let me get closer. Let me try 5. And you try 5 and that's not working and 4 is not working. Well, if 3 doesn't work, what would make one think that 4 would work or that 5 would work, right? Would be easier. Wouldn't be. But we do this with guitar all the time. We see Van Halen playing something and we're like, I'm going to play that. And that's great. It's a great goal. But there's got to be a bunch of miniature goals leading up to that. A lot of people will be like, I don't want to sit in any miniature goals. Go big or go home. That's cool. It's a great way to fail. So if you're wanting to fail, have that philosophy. So hyper-focus and slowing things down is truly going to get you to literally play anything that you want. I said in the first part, right, that you're unlimited and that there's nothing that you can't do on this guitar. The only thing that's holding you back is you. But you need some of the pieces in there, and one of those pieces is hyper-focus and slowing things down. So when we take a song and we're trying to sing it, play the solo, and play the chords, and play the strumming, and the finger picking, and this, that, and the other thing, well, that's several different things all at once. And unless we hyper-focus on just the strumming, and then hyper-focus on just the chords, and then hyper-focus on just the lyrics, then hyper-focus on just the melody, and then maybe put 2 of those things together, the melody and the lyrics, okay? And then maybe separately the strumming and the chords. It's not going to go as quickly as even me saying this, but you want to break it down to all the individual pieces, then start bringing the pieces together one by one, just like if you're juggling. If 3 balls is too much, 4 is not going to help, 5 is going to be worse. If you got 3 and you're having a problem with that, cut back to 2. If 2 is too much for you, do 1. That's where you're at. Wherever you're at is where you're at. And that part you can't ignore, that part you cannot overcome. Other than, what I mean by that is you can overcome it, but where you're at's where you're at. When you were born is when you were born. Where you were born is where you were born. So there's certain things in life we're not going to change, but there's a lot that we can change, okay? So that hyper-focus and slowing things down, I always say slow and steady wins the race. When you see these players picking super fast and doing all these great things and they seem to be doing it subconsciously, right, or unconsciously. They just seem to be playing, just not even thinking. Well, it's because they really are. They've practiced it so many times with their conscious mind that they've allowed it to sink into their subconscious, and now they're just able to do it. Just like you, if you're riding a bike or driving a car or something like this, back in the day when you just were learning those things, or learning to walk, or learning to ride a bike, or learning to drive a car, you were just 100% concentrated. All your CPU was focused on one particular task. You could not multitask, all right? Now, you can ride a bike and talk on the phone, or you could drive and talk on the phone. Not that I'm prescribing that, but you could if you had a headset, okay? Or walking. As a toddler, you're not going to be able to concentrate on anything. Now you could walk and talk at the same time. Look at you go, right? That's because you've done something, a particular task, so many times that it first went into your conscious mind and then back into your subconscious. And now you can do lots of things subconsciously, okay? So that hyper-focus and that slowing things down is truly going to help you. The third most powerful thing that I've learned from my 30 plus years of playing guitar is that music is meant to be shared. And what do I mean by that? Well, that could mean anything. For me, I love playing live, I love playing in the studio, and I love teaching guitar. But if I were to look at everything that I've done, I'd say I've probably taught more guitar than I've played in the studio and played live put together. And I love doing those things, but I have a real passion, a real desire for taking what's in my heart, in my soul, in my head, and giving that to others so that they too can do the same thing. I would love to be dead one day and have all these great guitar players that actually learn from me. Why? I don't know. Ego? Maybe. I don't know. But I just think it would be really cool to pass that information, to pass that knowledge on and that passion on to other players. So, my friends, those are 3 things that I learned, that I've learned many other things more than that, but those are 3 of the most important things that, to me, I think can help you, because if you realize that you too can share the music by playing, it doesn't matter what level you're at, or by teaching. Share by playing or teaching or recording. Doesn't matter where you're at. Wherever you're at is where you're at. I've never known a guitar player to start at any place other than the very beginning. In fact, I've never known anybody to start any particular thing. I don't care what it is: cooking, learning a new language, walking, talking, driving a car. It all started with that first day. And that first day can be very frustrating because it's a new task. It makes you think that you can't do it. It's total crap. You can do it. It's just it's a new task for you, so it feels very unnatural. It feels very alien. But oddly enough, doesn't matter what the task is, if you practice it and you're persistent with it, you're going to get good at it, because, here's a little tidbit, the brain is incapable of not learning. It is incapable of not getting better at a particular something if you keep hammering it, if you keep coming after it, and you set your desires. I want to do this thing. It's not woo-woo, it's not motivation, it's just truth. If you want to do a particular something, you keep focusing on it, you get better. It's been proven a few billion times, a few zillion times since we've been on this earth, okay? So, my friends, you can do anything that you want on the guitar, okay? Slow things down, break things down, and ultimately, once you have some basics, start sharing that. Share knowledge with a friend. Teach guitar. Play in the church. Play for your friends. Play in a cover band, but share it, because that's what music's meant to do. It's meant to be shared. Friends, thank you so much for sitting with me through this diatribe. If you want to learn how to play guitar, I've got lots and lots of stuff for you. I've got a free course at YourGuitarSage.com/30. It's the top 30 lessons that I teach all my students. If you were to visit me here in Nashville, it would be the first 30 lessons I teach you. It would be the first 30 lessons I teach every student, because they're packed so full of the stuff you need without any of the stuff that you don't need. The link for that's in the description of this video. For those folks that want a lot more than that and have $1, literally, we call it the $1 back. We used to do this a few years ago. Now it's open again. Basically, you can have access to my entire Unstoppable Guitar System and my 365 guitar course, everything in it, no holds barred, for $1, 30 days access, my friends. Both those links are in the description of this video. I want to help you play guitar. The only way I can do it is by doing these free videos and providing free courses for you. You got to have some sort of step-by-step system. That's what the resources are that I was telling you about. I want to help you, friends. Please let me know how I can do that. Leave your comments below. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I want to know. And if I missed anything here, or you have any comments, please let me know below. Hey, I'm on Twitter and Facebook, Instagram, and all those places where the kids hang out. We do lots of amazing things there. In fact, we do live broadcasts typically every week, several times a week now, and we give away thousands of dollars worth of goodies every single month, including guitars, amps, books, signed books, t-shirts, pedals, dear Lord, so many amazing things. Courses, lifetime memberships. So I'm here to help you. This is my calling. This is what I'm supposed to do. And I need you to help me to help you. Does that make sense? Sure it does. Hey, my friends, I'm Eric Andreas, your Guitar Sage here. Please let me know how I can help. As always, be kind to all beings. Do the right thing always, and practice your guitar. I'll see you in the next video.